Alright, it's Bakshi time again. So, I'm not going to say the title of this movie. I'll go ahead and write it in the title for the video, but I'm not going to actually say it, because I feel like that would be a little too risky. But let me see, I guess I'll, get right to the plot. So, the movie kind of mixes animation with live action, first of all. So there are segments at the beginning and end of the movie that are, live action, and it has, live actors who are kind of represented in the animation, because the characters are voiced by the same people playing the actors. The scene, various scenes have a lot of live action, live action mixed with the animation. You'll get scenes of cartoon characters interacting with live action people. I guess I'll also point out some of the performers. Mainly, the four main actors. First of all, we have Philip Michael Thomas and Charles Gordoni. Is that how you pronounce it? They're clearly two really big black actors at the time. As for the other two, they are the ones whose names I recognize, Barry White and Scatman Crothers. I talked a little bit about Scatman Crothers in my Aristocats review. He's a singer, and he's also done some acting, like in The Shining, and he voices Jazz in the Transformers cartoon. I remember that. And he also performs the opening song for this movie, and I do like the song, I will admit, even though I guess it's up for debate how racially sensitive it is, because from what I understand, Bakshi wrote the song. Maybe Scatman assisted him, maybe to make it less racist. So in the animation world, he plays Pappy, who's this, guy who just kind of breaks the fourth wall in a bunch of scenes, and, he's playing a bunch of different characters, and, the three main characters are, Rabbit, Bear, and Fox. So, I forgot to mention, this is based on the old Brer Rabbit stories, or I guess loosely based. It does, Brother Rabbit, Brother Bear, and Preacher Fox are obviously based on Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear. There's even a tar baby near the end, and the bear is voiced by Barry White. Just thought I'd point that out. Barry White. You know the guy, the man with the really deep singing voice. Really big soul singer at the time. Let's see. The story is, we got the opening and closing segments about, this these two guys escaping from prison. One of them has these two, associates who are gonna help him break out because they drive up to the prison and pick him up. I guess Scatman's just there for the ride, or he's like a friend that he makes in the prison or something. Yeah. But while they're waiting for the two friends to arrive, Scatman tells, what's his name? Philip Michael Thomas, the story of, I guess Brer Rabbit as a 70s mob boss. Or, he's not quite a boss at first, but, the movie's basically about his climb up the, crime ladder. And it overall focuses on them, like, taking out these crime lords. Like, first they take out this, black extremist, and then they take out, then there's this racist Irish cop, and then finally this, big mafia boss. Let's see. And all throughout there's all this commentary about race relations. Despite the intentions of Bakshi, it's easy to, see this movie in a different light, because all of the black characters, again, like Bakshi's other movies, they're shown in very, stereotypical ways, and, but again, that's probably part of the, commentary, I guess. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I know everything that Bakshi's trying to say with this movie. I mean, but I think, I guess, if nothing else, he had good intentions, I guess. I'm kind of walking on a fine line as I talk about this movie, because, I know, I mean, especially in nowadays, talking about race relations and just race in general is a very difficult discussion to have. Though I do think it's something we should, talk over a little more, and, maybe, just let each side have their say, but it's very difficult these days, but I can definitely tell things were a lot more, things were like really, really bad for, black America back in the 70s, and, I think Bakshi was just trying to, have his, get a message out. Just, And, it's kind of Bakshi's thing to be super offensive. So anyway, I guess I'll just leave it at that in terms of the, overall message of the movie. So what do I think of it compared to Bakshi's other movies? I think I actually like this one a little more than the other ones, because, this one definitely can get very offensive, and, there's still a lot of, sex scenes and nudity, just to make it as raunchy as possible. But I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's, you know, overdone to the point that it's almost insulting or, it just feels pandering or anything. Um, yeah, it actually does feel kind of mature, you know, or it feels more mature than the other movies. And I think the main reason for that is because this one's a little more focused on the violent aspects of Bakshi's movies instead of, like, the sex. Also, the characters are more interesting. I actually kind of like the characters in this movie, and I'm not going to say that they're saints by any means. They're criminals, they're killers, but you actually do kind of follow along with them, and you know, and yeah, they're interesting characters. Like, especially the three main ones. Yeah. And yeah, they all put in really good performances. Yeah, especially Barry White, and Scatman Crothers. Yeah, I'm a little biased since they probably have the two coolest voices in the movie, but still, I really enjoyed the other actors as well. And yeah, it's yeah, I actually I'm somewhat invested in these characters, unlike the previous movies, which were basically just starring douchebags trying to get laid. So, yeah. Um, yeah, it feels like there's more than that happening in this movie. I guess there were other things happening in those other movies, but still, they were primarily focused on the sex stuff. This one goes into slightly different territory. And that territory is still pretty, you know, uh, it's still pretty risky to talk about. This is probably Bakshi's most controversial movie, because for obvious reasons. Um, but I don't know. I think it got its message across all right. I can't pretend like I know everything they're saying, but still, it's it's got an interesting message that it's trying to tell you. Um, so I don't know. I feel like um, I feel like there's a lot of stuff to discuss with this movie that I'm probably better off not getting into right now. Um, but you know, I wouldn't say I love the movie by any means, but it was still interesting enough that I was invested in what was going on. It had plenty of interesting characters, and yeah, I guess if you're into the crazy, violent stuff, and if you're willing to, you know, look past all of the offensive stuff that I've been talking about, I'd say check it out. Um, Especially if you're a fan of Ralph Bakshi. Um, so, yeah, I guess I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Um, and I guess if there's anything I need to add that's not, you know, walking a fine line, then I'll put it in the comments. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that for now, just to be safe. Mash it and smash it signing off.